representatives for the American Heart Association. I want to introduce you first to Lori Pickford, and welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Love to see you, Dan.
You and I have presented blood pressure monitors now for 6 years.
Yes, we have.
To be able to find this brand name at this price is something you don't normally find. And we've got these for less than $30. This is the brand name that people will most likely see when they go into their doctor and their doctor takes their blood pressure.
You're exactly right.
There's no excuses now. The term the silent killer for high blood pressure, for a lot of individuals, you don't feel it. You don't know that it's going on. For certain individuals, they are almost preordained to have hypertension. In my case, my heart attack was completely unexpected. I was in good health, and it changed everything I knew about my life. I take my blood pressure every single day. And when the numbers come up solid and they come up good, it's a very good feeling. But you can't get these numbers by guessing.
Absolutely not. We would never suggest that you guess.
Yep. So why this piece of equipment?
You want Veridian in your home because Veridian is in your doctor's office.
Yep.
And that's the bottom line.
It's clinically accurate.
That's the key. So if you're out there shopping for blood pressure monitors, and you should be if you're over the age of 20, because 1 in 3 adults suffer from some form of hypertension.
Say that again.
1 in 3 adults. So there are 3 of us on this stage, and chances are one of us has it, and we know it's you, Dan.
Yeah, in this particular case, but yeah.
But what I'm saying is you need to have this in your home. If you take your temperature,
right.
You know what your temperature should be. You have a weigh scale in your home, you know what your weight should be.
Right.
You need to have a blood pressure monitor in your home so that you know what your blood pressure is, because it fluctuates throughout the day. You want to take it at a baseline, like try it out in the morning for the first 3 days, take a baseline reading, then take it throughout the day like you do and see where you are, because you need to know that 120/80 is normal.
Right.
And anything above that is something that you should know where you are. Do you know your numbers?
We're going to do this live on the air, and I want to point out, as calm as it may look here, it is always very frantic. And with you sitting and talking,
right.
Even that probably will give you an elevated reading, but we'll show you how it works. And this is so simple. You don't need any other equipment. My father used to have his wristwatch with a sweep second hand, and would have the stethoscope and have to do all of it. This will give a diastolic and systolic pressure. Now think of it this way. The veins in your body, it's kind of like your garden hose. And as your heart is pumping your blood, you have a pulsation where it expands the blood vessels, and then it also contracts. That's called systolic and diastolic pressure, and this is going to give both readings. It will also give you a heart rate, and then it records it into the memory. And the memory on this unit, now again, this came up a little high because, you know, you've had a cup of coffee this morning.
Exactly.
And we were running around as we were getting ready to sit down and have our conversation. But it gives you clinically accurate results.
It does. And you can see on 147/97, I have a pulse of 118, and down here is a date and time stamp. That's important, Dan, because this holds 60 in its memory.
Yep.
And right here it tells you this is the average of the last 3 blood pressures that you've taken, and then you can scroll through. Take this to the doctor's office with you.
That's what I do.
Say to the doctor, today I'm here, maybe my blood pressure is elevated because I have white coat syndrome. I get a little nervous when I come to the doctor, but here's what my blood pressure has been for the last 60 days. He gets a better view of what your heart health has been, rather than just getting that little snapshot that he gets when you walk into his office.
This is portable. The batteries even come with it.
Exactly.
Veridian is the #1 brand name in heart monitors. We were able to buy these at a phenomenal price, and at $29.96. There is no excuses to not have them. This is how important this was to me. So we went directly to Veridian. We bought every single piece that they had. Now, we don't have all the fancy colors. We've got 3 colors. But when these are gone, they are gone. We won't be able to get them back in, and we won't have this price tag again. The month of October for a lot of people is a month where life kind of calms down a little bit. The summer is over, the holidays aren't quite here, and it gives us an opportunity to reevaluate some things and start thinking about what we have to do to take care of our own selves, take self-responsibility. This unit is not just for people who are old. all right?
That's right.
I always saw my father taking his blood pressure,
Right.
but we really had no history of heart disease in our family.
Right.
So the heart attack that I had in February of 2012 was, believe me, it was not on my to-do list.
Right, it's a real surprise. If you haven't been monitoring yourself, you haven't taken the time to know what a resting blood pressure is for you specifically, because your blood pressure fluctuates throughout the day. It can change from one moment to the next. Even if I took my blood pressure one after another, I would have 3 separate readings.
Which is what we did earlier. We were out in our little galley area just sitting and talking. There is a reason why this is the brand name that I trust, and this is what I use. Now, the unit that I have is a little bit different than this one, but it was also more expensive. For us to be able to finally brought Veridian to QVC at under 30 bucks is something you don't see. I know it's not the most romantic gift in the world, but give it to someone. Give it to, whether it be your mom, your dad, your kid's sister. 1 in 3 adults have hypertension. And as we get into the holidays and things get a little bit more stressful, it's really something you should do. It is self-monitoring.
It really is, and you can see the numbers are nice and big here, so if you do have somebody in your life who would normally need to put on glasses, they don't really need to do that.
Yeah, I don't
You've
need
got
mine.
the date and the time stamp down here at the bottom. It's 1-button touch control, and it's clinically accurate. That's the point.
Now, again, I want to point out, her reading is high.
Right.
But what you want to do is I take my first reading first thing in the morning.
Right.
Before that,
Before you have that
first
cup of coffee, any caffeine,
Right.
anything like that in your system. Very important to get a baseline reading. And take this to your doctor's office. Show him it. Tell him this is what I'm going to be using. And you'll find, probably when you go to his office, that he has a Veridian machine in his office
Right on the
as
wall.
it is.
Do this. Do this for yourself. Do it for a loved one. We were able to get them at a remarkable price. We can pass that savings on to you, but we can only do it